Hi guys! So today's video is one that I'm pretty excited about. So pretty much if you watched my channel revamp video, you have seen that on the second Friday of the month, I'm going to be doing a scary type of video. So today's video is one that I actually did so much research about. I actually filmed a different video for this week. It was like dreams that people had that came true, and they're like scary ones. But I don't know, I just wasn't really vibing with that video. Like, I already filmed it and it was just like not great. But the most interesting one to me from that video was this I'm about to actually tell you about. And so even though it wasn't a dream, which I didn't even realize until like as I was filming it that it was not a dream, it was a premonition, which is like a vision. But still, same thing, kind of the gist. So I figured, you know what, since I really like that one the most, I'm just gonna make a whole video about it. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So pretty much this is about a woman named Sharon Tate. So she was, well, let me give you a little backstory. So pretty much she was murdered by the Charles Manson family, if you will call it. That's what they called themselves. Like, pretty much if you don't know anything about Charles Manson, I don't know how you haven't, because he's literally like so, well, not anymore, he died, but like he was like really prevalent in like the media and stuff. Charles Manson was a leader of a cult, and yeah. Okay, now and pretty much the cult, his family murdered Sharon Tate along with 4 other victims. So yes, we're gonna get into this right now. Alright, so Sharon Tate, also I have like 3 pages of stuff to cover, so buckle up. Okay, so pretty much I'm gonna try to like save my memory, but if like I need help, like I'll look at it. So if I'm looking down reading something, like it's my notes. Sharon Tate was born January 24th, 1943 in Dallas, Texas. When she was 6 months old, she won her first beauty pageant, which is pretty crazy. That was Miss Tiny Tot Dallas at 6 months old, which is pretty cool. At 16, she won 2 beauty contests. She won Miss Richland, Washington and Miss Autorama. Also, I forgot to mention, all the links to any information I have covered is in the description. I think I only looked at those links. I just want to like make sure you know that this is not my information. I did not, discover this by any means. So it's all in the description if you want to check it out. It's really fascinating stuff. Also, if you want me to make a whole video, this is only on the Sharon Tate murders. So in Charles Manson and the family murdered, maybe like 4 other people? 4 or 5 other people besides her group that was murdered that night. So if you want me to make a video talking about all of those but in one video, like all the other murders in one video, if that makes sense, let me know. Leave a comment down below, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe while you're already there. Like, come on girl, what you doing here? Alright, let's keep going. So, alright, so she hitchhiked there, whatever, got her stuff going on, and she was getting her little gigs happening, you know what I'm saying. Then she started dating a celebrity hairstylist named Jay Sebring. S-E-B-R-I-N-G. I'm going to say Sebring. I don't really know. In 1964. And I don't really know how long they dated, but I know that in 1966 she was staying at Jay's apartment. She was like in between apartments, so she didn't really have anywhere to stay. Jay was in New York. I don't know if they were still together at this point or not, but they had, even after they broke up, they were still friends. So it was like a mutual breakup. It wasn't like a anything bad. Anyway, he was in New York for business and she was in LA or wherever they were staying at the time, and so she was staying alone at Jay's house. So Jay lived in a house that was owned by Paul Byrne, and I had no idea who he was. Also, I had no idea who any of these people were before this, let's be honest, except Charles Manson. I knew who that was, but other than that I had no idea who anyone was. So pretty much this man, Paul Byrne, was a director, producer, scriptwriter, etc. And he committed suicide in his home, and Jay later bought the home that he committed suicide in. So one night, Sharon, she wasn't afraid of the dark or anything like that, but she just had this like eerie vibe this one night. And she was laying in bed and she could not shake this feeling, so she like kept the light on, like the night light or like the lamp or whatever it was on in the room that night when she slept, which was like pretty like off character for her. And she claimed to, and she told an interview an interviewer this in 1966 that she like she saw, okay, I have a quote. It says, she told an interviewer, "I saw a creepy little man. He looked like the picture I saw burn." She ran downstairs and told the interviewer, "I saw a vision of someone tied to the staircase. It might have been me, it might have been Jay. Whoever it was cut at the throat." By the way, this is her premonition. I hope I'm saying that word right, but this was her vision that she saw. Alright, and we'll get to what actually happened to her later. Obviously she was murdered, but I'll tell you how and what actually happened, and it's eerily similar to this. Just a little spoiler alert. Next is in 1967, she started getting a lot more fame from movies that she was in. She starred in 4 films that year, and I don't know the names of them because I didn't care to write them down because I had never heard of any of them. But apparently they're like popular. I'm not really into like pop culture or like movies or anything like that, so I could care less, but if you guys want to look it up, feel free. Next is she started dating, also in 1967, a director named Roman Polanski, on set of The Vampire Killers, which was one of the movies she starred in that year. Roman Polanski, we're just going to call him Roman, is literally, okay, I did not like this dude at all. Pretty much, Roman is still alive. He's like 85. And he has been a fugitive since, I want to say 1974. I don't have it. But definitely it was in the 70s. He's been a fugitive. He fled the United States after pleading guilty to statutory rape. And yeah, he like fled the United States. Haven't been able to find him since. So anyway, she married Roman in 1968 and she got pregnant in late 1968. Alright, so now I'm going to go to the murder. I was going to talk about the motive, but then I found out another motive, so I'm going to say the murder and then the motives, and you can decide which one you want to believe, and I'll tell you which one I believe. Okay, so on that night, a man named Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian went to 150 CeeLo Drive on Manson's orders to, and I quote, "totally destroy everyone in that house as gruesome as you can, make it a real nice murder, just as bad as you've ever seen, and get all of their money." Okay. And I'll get into the whole motive thing later, but like, let's just say there was literally no reason for them to die. Like, there was literally, he did not know who lived there. Okay? Like I said, I'll get to the thing. There was a specific reason for the address, but he had no idea who was living there, and none of the members knew he lived there either. It was literally just like a freak, like random occurrence. It was like, you know, like a celebrity and her friends, but that's probably like why it gained so much like media attention and stuff. But like it wasn't like a Sharon Tate, I'm gonna, you know, do this. It was like a, could have been anyone. It could have been like, you know, like an elderly couple, you know, it could have been anyone, but there was no reason. Literally no, like, not that there's like ever reason, but it's like literally no reason. Which makes it so shitty. I mean, obviously shitty enough, but like, it's so stupid. Alright, so once they got there, Tex, I'm pretty sure it was him at least, he shot an 18-year-old boy, and the boy was literally just hanging out. He was like friends with the caretaker of the house. He was just hanging out, and he was like leaving to go home, and then like Tex like came and like shot him. I'm pretty sure he shot him 4 times, and then he stole his wallet. So then after that happened, they went inside and they started stabbing everyone. So, okay, I'm going to give you a rundown of like who was there and then how many times they were stabbed, etc., and what happened to them. So pretty much it was Sharon, her ex-boyfriend Jay, Like, they were still friends. And then I'm pretty sure it was Sharon's friend, or maybe it was Jay's friend. It was maybe it was a mutual friend. I mean, since they dated, you know, they probably have the same friends, or at least some, you know. Abigail Folger, and then her boyfriend Wojtek Frykowski. So it was the 4 of them inside, and then the boy outside that got murdered. So yeah, it was all 5. It was 5 of them in total. Jay was stabbed 7 times, shot once. Abigail was stabbed 28 times. I don't even know why that's so, like, literally like 2 probably in the right place, but like did the job, but like 28 times for a stranger. Like, it'd be different. It was like, you know, like someone who like killed your mom. But it was like a stranger. Like, you have no need to even be aggressive. Like, it's so stupid to me. I feel like this whole thing is just so, I don't know. And then Wojtek, 51 times. He was stabbed 51 times. Like, I don't even know. At one point, okay, so he pretty much, Wojtek, he woke up to, I'm pretty sure it was Tex. Yeah, well, they call him Watson. They refer to him as his last name, Watson. He woke up and he was like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" He said, "I am the devil and I'm fulfilling the devil's orders," or something like that. It was just like, literally imagine like waking up to like a man in your house with a knife, like about to stab you, saying that. Like, that's literally terrifying. He was stabbed 51 times, shot twice, and I don't know what this means, but bludgeoned, Blundgeoned, 13 times in the head. I think that means just like hit in the head with a heavy object or sharp, I don't really know. 13 times, like, literally everything was so extreme, literally for, like I said, absolutely no reason. Next is, well, Sharon. Sharon was stabbed 16 times. I think I said earlier, she was 8 months pregnant with her unborn child. Roman was the father. And it's just so sad. And she was, like, pleading for the child's life. And, like, they just had no mercy. And they just kept on going. So, she was stabbed 16 times. And this is where premonition comes in. She was strung over the rafter, I guess, like in the ceiling, with rope tied to her neck and the other tied to Jay's neck. In the premonition, if you don't remember, she was at the staircase. I don't know if they mean like the rafter, like a ceiling or rafter. As I imagine it as like the banister of the staircase, but it could have been a rafter of a ceiling. I don't really know. But yeah, in her thing, it was the staircase with the throats cut. Let me actually read it one more time because I actually forgot. I saw a vision of someone tied to the staircase. It might have been me. It might have been Jay. Whoever it was cut at the throat. And she had been stabbed, plus the rope was around her throat. So that came true. And then after she died, they wrote the word pig in big letters on the door. And actually, I'm going to post a picture here. And you can kind of see where it still says pig on it. And like, the man outside was Roman. He was on a business trip somewhere when this all happened. He was in Europe, and then she decided to like stay home because she was like having pregnancy issues. And like the baby was about to come. And then like, you know, once she was about to have the baby, he was like gonna come home. But anyway, so he was gone, she was there, and like she didn't want to be alone, so she had her friends like staying with her in the house and keep her company and everything like that. So that's why she was with them and not with her husband and stuff. Okay, and then in October 1969, okay, that's done with the murder. This is now like the trial and stuff. This is real quick. In 1969, various members were arrested at their home base at Inn Ranch, which is like a ranch they lived in. It was actually like a movie set at one point, and it was in like Death Valley. And they were arrested for stealing equipment. Susan Atkins, was boasting to her cellmates about killing Sharon Tate. And so pretty much after all that, all the members got arrested, and they were all sentenced to death. But in California, California changed so that the death penalty was outlawed in 1972, so they all ended up serving life sentences. Alright, now let's get to the motives. Pretty much there's two. The first one is the Melcher motive. So pretty much there was this man, his name was Terry Melcher. He met Charles Manson at the Beach Boys, Dennis Wilson, his, I guess a party, he was at his house. And Melcher's assistant, Greg Jacobson, really liked Manson. They got along and stuff. Also, Manson, I didn't really realize this, he had a music group going on. Okay. So pretty much Manson really wanted to be recorded by Melcher. And Melcher, he was like, okay, let's give it a shot. He listened to him, he's like, nah, the fuck. And he wrote him off and gave him to a new friend. A friend of his to record him. Well, Manson felt that Terry had wronged him, and that he lied, and that he was promised all of this stuff and being produced and everything. And he was, you know what? Screw you. So pretty much the reason that connects to the murders is because Terry Melcher used to live in 150 Sela Drive, or Sela Street, whatever it was. And it was kind of a big fuck you to him, being you know what? If you're gonna do this, let me just scare you. Let me see. Trying to try to scare him into getting what he wants, or just be heh, watch out, scare him into, for his life, or what have you. Yeah, and pretty much Terry and the assistant were no, we literally never said that you were gonna be produced. It was just a opportunity. It wasn't a promise, set in stone thing. But yeah. And the people, I think Watson was the one who said it, but he said that Manson was upset about it, and he was talking to him about it and stuff, and that he gave them the address to be go to this house. So I feel Melcher is somehow involved in this, but might not be the whole reason. So the next motive is the copycat motive. So pretty much there is a group member named Bobby, and I don't know how to say his last name, Beausoleil. Let's just say Bobby. And he was arrested for a murder of, I didn't get his name. He was arrested for murder for a man that they killed. Pretty much they killed this man for his money. And Bobby was arrested, I guess somehow he was tied to it. And the family and Manson decided that they don't want him in jail. Manson was this is my brother, we're he's I'm loyal to you. He's I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get you out of jail. So they planted, this is the theory, that they planted these murders to throw off the police, to be oh my god, wait, how could it be Bobby if the exact same thing is still happening, so that they let Bobby go free. So they were the dude that they murdered, he was stabbed, and they wrote the stuff on the walls and stuff like that. So I think that's why they kept on going with the same theme of how gruesome and disgusting it was. What I personally believe is I think it was a mixture of the both. I think that they were doing the Bobby thing, trying to get him, but he was also having bad blood with Terry. So I think he was just kind of going dipping into each pot and taking, exchanging, whatever. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Pretty much I think it was definitely the copycat thing with the need for, revenge, if you will, on Terry. I think they're just trying to double dip into that. And I mean the fact that it was, his house, and they said that they knew Terry didn't live there anymore, and that they didn't know who lived there, like I said. So it wasn't like, oh, he was trying to get Terry, but like he ended up, no. It was literally, he was trying to get back at Terry for what he did. And yeah, so that's, I don't know, that's what I believe at least. Granted, you could think it's someone else. If you want to tell me what you guys think about it, what motive you believe, or if there's another motive you've heard of, leave it down in the comments below. I'll read them, flybacks and stuff. And yeah, I hope you liked this video. I hope I explained everything correctly. I'm very sorry to the family of all the victims, not just these victims, but all of them. Alright, sorry, once again my camera cut out and I don't really remember what I was saying, so I'm just going to wrap the video up here before it dies again. Pretty much thank you all so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. Please leave a thumbs up if you do. Leave a comment and tell me what other videos you'd like me to do, especially like scary ones, if you have any suggestions on crimes or cases or cults or whatever. I have a few ideas in the back of my head, but anything you guys want to suggest, go ahead and do that. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next Friday with a new video. Bye guys.